But like you said, like, you've got to be kidding me.
No! No!
Absolutely.
Deadline,
This is the craziest day of my life. I gotta go. My oh my, the breaking news that literally just happened. I mean, not even 5 minutes ago. James Harden officially.
We have real good timing.
I mean, this is not even like an emergency episode. We literally just planned this perfectly because now officially
it's an emergency episode.
I mean, now it is. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of doing this on the fly, which is understandable. But the breaking news, obviously, as of right now, literally not even 5 minutes ago, James Harden officially traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for, I believe, I'm just doing this purely based off of memory. The 76ers are sending to Brooklyn Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and I think 2 firsts.
That is exactly correct.
And then Philly is getting James Harden and one more player. Paul Millsap. Who cares? It's James Harden. It's James Harden to the 76ers. Brooklyn is getting back Ben Simmons. The Ben Simmons debacle is finally over, and James Harden all the trade noise is we finally have a resolution. It's finally the story. I wouldn't call it complete. I mean, but a chapter has been closed of finally just waiting and waiting. The Ben Simmons and the James Harden stories. We finally have closure, at least, at least somewhat as of right now.
It seems like a resolution for now. We don't know that it's all going to work out. We hope it will. I don't know about Ben Simmons on the Nets, but I know about Harden on the Sixers. That is going to work. That's just going to work.
Him with Embiid in the pick and roll game. I mean, my God. I mean, having the ability to either have to defend Embiid off of a roll or a pick and pop or just staying with James Harden, who can just he's not the most athletic person in the world, but his dribble drive ability is almost like none other. I mean, one of the best the NBA has ever seen. I mean, that in itself is going to be an absolute nightmare for teams to have to deal with. I will say, they do lose key pieces, and I mean, Ben Simmons wasn't playing already, and Philadelphia has been playing pretty darn good all season. But obviously losing Seth Curry is a big piece. Drummond was kind of your backup big guy, which I mean is important, but it's not the most.
Drummond's good, but if you have Joel Embiid, Drummond's not playing as much, so it's
obviously
not as big a loss. Seth Curry, I feel like, is going to be a hit though.
It's going to be
for that though.
It's going to be a situation where when Embiid is not on the floor, they're going to have to play a lot of small ball because they really don't have another. They do have Charles Bassey, who's he's a young guy who out of Western Kentucky was a high recruit coming out of high school, but he hasn't really developed much, obviously, because he's only been in the league for like a year or two. So Philadelphia is definitely going to have to not alter their style of play, but they're definitely going to have to. The addition of James Harden is going to definitely change things that we see on the court. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Well, let's just say real quick, because I've been thinking about this trade. Obviously, it only dropped 10 minutes ago. But still, I'm thinking about it. The word fleece was basically trending when some of these other trades were breaking, because some of these trades that we're going to discuss later on, once we calm down a little bit and break down all of this, some of these trades are really favoring one team or another, because some teams are desperate to rebuild or desperate to try to win now, so they're just getting destroyed by these trades. This seems like a really fair trade. Like, if you're trying to get value for one of the best,
how do you figure?
I'm just thinking, so Harden, one of the, I'd say 5 best offensive guys, but a bottom tier defensive guy. He's not good at defense. And he's gotten better because he's become more of a team player lately. But so to his credit, but then you look at that. What does the Sixers need? They probably need a little bit more offense. And they probably need a bit better defense. And I'm assuming Paul Millsap's probably there for that. And the Nets need defense and they need some depth. So they get that depth. They get out of James Harden's contract and they're able to free up that space for Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. They get Ben Simmons as another defensive player to start to shore up the holes, because obviously they have Kyrie and KD, who are both great offensive players, and KD can play shutdown defense, but they're both there to be offensive powers.
Right.
So assuming that Ben Simmons is going to play back at top form, all he has to do is play defense. He does not need to shoot the ball, which we all know he can't really do.
Well, it's not even like he doesn't need to shoot the ball. You just have to put him in the right situations. Like he's good in the pick and roll game because he can drive to the rim. And I feel if he continue to develop his post game, that'll obviously make him more effective as well. But like you said, like, you've got to be kidding me.
No! No!
Fire drill.
You have got to be kidding me. There's no way. Are you serious? There's okay.
What are the odds?
So there's now currently a fire drill happening in my building. So we're gonna have to take a very short break. But when we come back, we'll be talking more about the breaking James Harden trade. This is
Trade
absolutely
deadline day, dude.
this is the craziest day of my life. I gotta go.
Few moments later.
Yeah, I'm going now.
Well, welcome back to HQI Sports.
Yeah, welcome back. For anyone who has no idea what's going on, basically me and Parker were breaking down or essentially reacting to the James Harden trade that just went down. And then my fire alarm for my college dorm building just went off. I mean, literally this trade is so transcending and so fire that it literally set off my fire alarm. You call me, it's a stupid joke, but this is absolutely nuts.
No, it's a great joke.
It's a decent joke. I mean, I just said to Parker, I mean, you know better, you know more than the people listening or watching. Like I literally just had to run outside and and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? But we're back. We're officially we can talk more about the James Harden trade in detail. I forgot where we left off. What exactly were we talking about?
We were just kind of, I honestly, I don't remember exactly. We were just talking about like the long-term repercussions, what the Nets needed, what they're getting out of this, and then the repercussions of Harden. We just kind of wrapped up Harden in Philly, like what Harden plus Embiid means. So let's look to the Nets side of things and look at.
I was about ready to ask you a question as soon as the fire alarm went off. I mean, I'm usually not a fan of declaring a winner of a trade like the moment it goes down, but you're not me, so I'm gonna ask you the question.
Well, I told you.
Essentially,
I think it's a trade. I think it's a tie.
So you think it's even. You're one that
actually, you know what? We've had some time to reflect now. It's now been 20 minutes.
It's now been 15 minutes. Yeah.
All right. But okay, so. The Sixers don't technically need more offense. The Nets very much need defense and depth. And the Sixers were getting negative cap space and no benefits out of Ben Simmons. The Sixers won this trade.
Really? Okay. I can see that. I mean, obviously James Harden is the best player in this deal. Ben Simmons, we're not sure what he's going to look like on the Nets. I mean, I feel like all this trade buzz around this wouldn't have happened if the Nets didn't have a plan for Simmons.
Actually,
and then putting Seth Curry. I mean, having shooters on a team that you know is going to be in the playoffs is obviously important. Yeah. Andre Drummond he's still going to be a backup big for you guys. So for the Nets, and then 2 firsts is helpful. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not one, Parker, to declare a winner, especially when a trade first goes down. But I'm kind of with you on this one. Just initially, Parker, I kind of see this as dead even because
I'm taking it back. The Nets needed defense and depth. This is a tie.
Well, I was just gonna say James Harden. As much as I know, I understand how potent, how valuable James Harden can be. But then again, the amount of, I mean, taking on James Harden to your team, Parker, that's a lot. It's a lot of baggage. It's similar to having Kyrie on your team. I mean, which James Harden was just dealing with. I mean. Because there's some players that you know what you're gonna get. They're not gonna be in the media as much, and they're just gonna do their job. With Harden, that's not the case. With Harden, there's so many different other aspects of taking a player like Harden. So I don't know how that's gonna affect the locker room of Philly, in a locker room that I'm guessing already is a little bit damaged based off all the stuff with Ben Simmons. But now that he's gone, I'm not. I mean, and then obviously we got the chemistry with Harden and Embiid. I mean, there's a lot of stuff for both of these teams that they're going to have to figure out initially. But I feel like it's safe to say for a couple months from now, I do think we'll know exactly who won this trade.